right, guys, are you ready to rock and roll for the third author in tonight's IG Live series? Well, here we go. Our next interviewer, let me connect her. It's been really fun so far, guys. I hope that you're getting a little taste of what this book is going to be about and all the different women that we have. I have to tell you, one of the things that I love so much about this book is that there are women of all different shapes, colors, backgrounds, different countries. It's so amazing to see how we've all come together as podcast babes, and as different as we all are, at the same time are all so similar, and we're very, what I like to say, like-hearted. And that's what I love about this book. So let me get our next guest on here. Let's see where she is. I'm so excited to interview her. Dun, dun, dun. All right. There she is. Invite. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. This next guest, I actually had a recent conversation with her, and I recognized that we were both from New York, which is so amazing. She doesn't live close to me in New York anymore, but it was great to talk with her. Hi, Jess. Yes, I love it. It's so true, right? We're all from different backgrounds, and it's so amazing to see the power of women coming together as a collective, right? Okay, let's see. Let's try one more time, or 3 more times. We'll make it happen. Instagram tonight is being a little tricky. But we got this. And I am so excited. If you're watching this interview, I cannot wait for you guys to really read these chapters. We really are so, it has really moved me to tears how vulnerable all the women in this chapter really have been, really sharing their deepest hurts, their deepest moments, their deepest wounds, and all in the efforts to lift another woman up, right? That's, I think, what's even more touching, is that it's not just about writing a book. It's about giving women tips on, hey, if you're going through a hard time, I got through, and here's how I did it, and this is for you. So that's what's been so beautiful. Here she is. Okay, let's see if we can get this going now. Dun, dun, dun. Third time is the charm. There she is. Hello, beautiful lady.
How are you?
Good. So good to have you on. I'm going to see if I lower my volume a little bit, if that helps with the feedback. How is that? Do you guys, do you feel like there's less feedback now, guys? Can I get a little comment in the comment section? Do you still hear it? I think maybe what we can do is what Nina and I did before. So while I'm talking, you can put that, there's like a little microphone. If you press that, that will mute you while I'm talking, and vice versa. Okay? Do you see it? All right. So while I'm talking, I just want to introduce you. This is Miss Tracy Penner. Nice to meet you, Tracy. If you maybe can move the camera just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of your face. Perfect. That's perfect. Good. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We got it. Don't worry. We're waiting. Perfect. Is that good? Your hair is glowing. You're looking beautiful.
It's very warm where I am, so I have to have a little air conditioning on me.
Got it. So Tracy, we had such a brilliant conversation recently. You were up to some amazing things, and I am so excited about your chapter. Tell us a little bit about your chapter, and tell us about that moment where you really felt your pain turning into power.
Sure. So I must have been about 16 years old, and I was with a friend, or somebody who I thought was a friend, and I had an instant moment. Something came up. It was that the air was very heavy. I was feeling very heavy at heart, and my palms were sweaty. It's a little bit like I am now. And I came to a crossroads, and in a split second, I paused, and then I made a decision not to take a road that I was going down. I decided to choose myself in that moment. It was a very powerful but heavy moment for me. And I could just feel it throughout my body. And I just decided in that moment that I wasn't going to go down a road that I would never return from, pretty much. And that I was just going to choose myself. And it was about time that I took over my power and stopped following what it was.
I love that. And just like we were talking about with Nina, that seems to be a very common thread, that moment of turning pain into power, where it's like this visceral experience, right? Where there's just like this inner knowing, and it comes with a feeling, right? It comes with just this embodiment of, I have the power to choose me, to make a change, right?
Exactly.
I love that. So when you were writing about this, right? So the things that we're talking about, they are pretty heavy, right? And they are vulnerable moments, and it's not easy to put onto the page things that we don't normally always talk about, right? So for me, part of it was like, well, one of the resistances I had was, but I'm past this already, right? Like, I almost like didn't want to go back and excavate it again, right? Like, I'm done with this. That's not me anymore. So for you, did you have any resistances in writing this chapter and getting it all out?
Well, most certainly I did. I was very hesitant to put things out on the paper. I was very fearful of what would be heard or what would be thought of me. Um, there was a lot of vulnerability, and I didn't want to see myself as a victim. I didn't want people to see me as a victim. It brought about a lot of emotion for me. Tears down my face. I thought I had lived this story, so I knew the story. But as I was writing it, the grief that came over me and the tears but I just kept writing. And as I kept writing, the grief turned to gratitude. I realized what a strong, powerful woman I had become in this journey. And even though it was painful to relive a lot of the memories, uh, it really released it for me. It changed the way I saw my story for myself.
I could not agree more. I think that is what was so big about getting past resistance, because once you got past the resistance, I think that one of the common experiences that we had with writing our chapters, also that therapeutic thing that happens after purging it all and then getting to reframe it, because the truth is that it gave us power, right? Like
Exactly.
that's the premise, is that we had pain and then we turned it into power. So being able to then to stand in that final product of being in power, I think it's paramount, right? Like, it was just such a great expression to be able to do that and look at your story, and then being able to like see everybody else do that in their story was so beautiful too.
Exactly.
So for me, I was just talking with Nina, and on our first call, we did like embodying your inner writer, right? And we talked about creating some rituals and some things to help us to write. So for me, one of the things that I ended up doing is I have a little journal that I bought, and it said "Believe in Magic," and it has like a little rainbow on it. And so I started to imagine like this was my magic book, right? And so whatever that I put in that book, it was just going to come together smoothly. It was going to be the right words, the right story, and that it was really going to bring my story to life. So that was part of my sacredness, because I really at this moment I wasn't really able to make like a secret or a sacred corner in this particular place where I'm at right now. So, but I was like, okay, if I can't make a sacred corner, I can have a sacred book. And that's really helped me, because it's like once I flipped that book that was magic, I was just on. Like now it's time to write. And so what was cool about that is I did a lot of traveling. And so even on the airplane, it's like when I opened my sacred book, it was like I was able to like zone right into my magic book. So I'm just wondering, did you have any rituals, whether it was incense, candles, a time that you wrote? Did you have anything that helped you write?
Well, I just spend time in my garden. I'm from New York City originally, and I now live in Southern California, and I have a beautiful garden with flowers and trees, and it's very peaceful out there. So I like to go out there. I sit under my olive tree, and I just reflect on things. It's again, it's so peaceful that it's really just a beautiful space for that, and nature, and I really get to embody my authentic self in nature. I just love nature so much.
I love that so much. I love nature too. And so I could imagine how that helped you to write. I have a park by me that I love doing things in. So I could imagine that that really helped you in your writing process. So good.
It
So
actually.
so you have some rituals and you got your chapter out, you moved past resistance. So what like showed up for you after this chapter? Like did anything shift for you in terms of how you've been showing up differently for yourself or differently for others?
I would say, have to say, absolutely. You know, I carried my story like such a weight. It was so heavy on me. And, you know, I lived in that story. I was continually living in that story. I was having a hard time releasing it, actually, until I actually wrote it down in this way. You know, I've written it before, probably in some of the trainings I've done. I've done a bunch of Tony Robbins, and I go to a lot of these conferences, and we're always trying to reach in and grasp, but you forget sometimes. And in this process of just brainstorming and sort of just throwing it all out there, even before an edit or anything, I didn't really set boundaries. I just started writing for myself and unloading a lot of it. And in that, it allowed me to become freer and feel lighter and to be able to help others. Now I really feel like, I don't dim down anymore. I can live from the loving place that I come from, and my voice can be an invitation. I'm loud sometimes, but I no longer hide it. I let people see who I am now. It feels really, really freeing.
I absolutely love that. I feel the same way. It does feel very freeing. And it makes me so happy that this experience was able to do that for you, honestly, because, we're doing it for putting it out there and for other women. And in that process, the fact that we're getting so much out of it for ourselves, it just feels so good that we're able to reframe these stories and continually stack on our power, because that's what's happening, right?
I agree, absolutely. And supporting each other in that, it's wonderful. I've loved being a part of this community. We'll have to write another book. We'll have to write the next chapter.
That's actually how I envision it, right? That we'll make the most of this chapter, this book, and really, do what we can do to have it be the best that it can be, and then write another one, right, with different podcast babes, with the same podcast babes, with different stories, and just continually have the next volume and the next volume, so that people really look to us for those empowering stories on how to be empowered when you're dealing with something, right? Or just how to be empowered on a regular day. Sometimes turning pain into power can be just a regular day. Like we don't even have to always be going through something traumatic, because we can have painful moments in a time that's not so painful too, right? Whether it's a little bit of anxiety because of bills you have to pay or some other form of pain, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so how I really do see this being something that we can continue to grow with, and I love the fact that it is with this beautiful community. I love all these beautiful women, and I love that we're continuing to stack on our power and get something out of these chapters. And so, as this book is going out into the world, what do you want the readers of your chapter to do next after they read your chapter?
Well, I want the readers, it is my sincerest hope that the readers can reflect on their own journeys, that they can rise from their pain, that they can speak out, they can look for support if needed. I mean, we're always here, I'm always around, reach out to me. Um, I want, everybody to just take one small step towards whatever it is, journaling or setting boundaries for yourself, simply saying no when you mean no. Don't say yes when you mean no. Um, your story is worth telling. Tell people your story. Everybody's got something interesting that they can share with the world and that can help others. And so I hope that our journey, if we can rise, so can you. And I hope, people will rise to the occasion and follow us.
I could not agree more. I am so excited for all the women that are going to read our book. That's why you want to come to our book launch on October 18th, where you will see Tracy again. You will see her being interviewed more on deeper questions about her chapter. You will hear other authors and their stories, and you will get the chance to buy our book at a really great price so that you can get the gifts that we are cultivating for you, so you can really turn your pain into power. And if you have heard one of these interviews tonight and you are excited about it, leave us a comment. Tell us what you're getting out of these lives. Tell us what you're learning. If there's something that you want to share about your story, we want to hear it. Come, leave us a comment so that you can be part of the Podcast Babes community and we can connect with you. So thank you so much, Tracy, for this wonderful interview. You did amazing. You're an amazing person. You have an amazing story. And
Yeah.
yes, and I'm so excited for our book launch. Remember, everybody, it's in the link in our bio, and you will see more of Tracy and the rest of our authors on October 18th.
Thanks. Have a wonderful
Thank you,
night.
Tracy.
Thanks, team.
Good night, everybody.